Joanne's ladder. I was in a craft store in the middle of the day, squatting and looking at a few things on the bottom rung, when a woman approached me and motioned to where next to me there was one of those big rolling ladders that a lot of stores have for restocking high shelves. She asked, "Can I move this?" I shrugged and said, "I won't tell if you don't." She paused, gave me a strange look, then moved the ladder, took something off the shelf, and walked off. A few minutes later, I was in another aisle, now with a few items in my hand, and she turned a corner and recognized me. She looked at me a moment and then started to laugh, before apologizing about earlier and saying she thought I was an employee. We both laughed, and she wished me a nice day and was on her way.
Sound like an expert. You must work here. And so while I'm no arborist, my grandpa owned a Christmas tree farm and my dad and his brothers worked on it when they were kids. So I know more about pine trees than your average holiday shopper. As such, it's not uncommon for me to go with my friends to help them pick out their Christmas trees. I was on one such excursion a few years ago at Lowe's, and I was elaborating on different types of pines and their needle types, how to check over a tree, etc. So just when my friend is making their final decision on a tree, a woman approaches me and asks if I can help her family with selecting a tree. Now I can tell by the way she asked that she thought I was an employee, but she was polite, and well, it's Christmas time, so of course I go and help them. I spent a few minutes giving them the same rundown I gave my friend, and get them to the Douglas fir section since that's my favorite type of Christmas tree, and I make a casual remark about the selection that they have, not we. And she gets this funny look. "Wait, you don't work here." I cheerfully replied that I did not, but I was happy to help and that they really couldn't go wrong with the trees that I indicated. They tried to apologize, but I merely wished them a Merry Christmas and walked back to my friend, who had been watching the whole exchange with barely concealed mirth.
It finally happened to me. I have to admit that as much as I enjoy reading everyone's posts, I have felt skepticism about some stories. No more. I'm a 62F and I was at the MARTA walls waiting to receive a shot. Not for COVID, FYI. I was sitting off to the side in a folding chair, between two shoulder-height boxes of kids' foam basketballs and next to the restroom door. While filling out the insurance stuff, I'd been asked by 3 different people if it was okay for them, general public, to use the restroom. I had no idea but told them I believed it was okay. So while I was filling out info on a clipboard, 2 older fellows literally screamed at me, "Where are the Q-tips?" as I'd shopped there before I was able to tell them where they were. They complained about the location as if I had anything to do with it. I got to toss out those immortal words, "I don't work here." 2 things immediately came to mind. 1, the posts I've read are real, and 2, I was finally going to make my first post on Reddit.
They don't like nipples in the suburbs. Lady behind me at the store. "Excuse me, I can see your nipples through your shirt. That's so inappropriate." What's inappropriate is the fact that I can smell your breath through my mask and yours. 6 feet, no pressure, Karen. She deserved it. Everyone has nipples. Her. Going to tell your manager. Me, a black woman. Oh, you're racist too. Her. Why do you people always pull the race card? Manager walks up. She obviously stops him. "This employee is a disgrace to your company. Look at her nipples, to put it short." Manager looks at me, then her, then gives me the look of confirmation. "Ma'am, this is a Walmart, and she doesn't even work here. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." Her makes a scene and is escorted out by security. The best part is, her name was Carol. I understand why some people are confused. I also understand why some people don't see how this was racist. To answer the confusion, I said she was racist because I wasn't dressed in Walmart work attire whatsoever. I also had a shopping basket in my hand full of supplies. Granted, I could have used a different word like ignorant, but a lot of privileged people assume that when they see a black person at their local suburban grocery store, we work there, you can't see the problem, I got bad news. And no, it doesn't mean you're racist. It means you're uneducated.
Sharing off an entitled bitch. First off, I have a terminal illness, so I'm dying. No commiserations, please. Because of that, I decided not to suffer fools and idiots a while back. Probably because I'm very angry about it. I would like to point out I haven't had a fight in over 26 years. So I'm in Bunnings, i.e. that is an Australian hardware chain, think Walmart, but only for hardware and gardening. I was looking for what I wanted, and a woman, with her husband, demanded. It was the tone of her voice, where the brass hose fittings were. Without turning around, I said I didn't know. She put her hand on my shoulder and tried to turn me around. I'm over 6 foot and around 15 stone, and big with it so good on her 4 bowls. So I turned around and she got up into my face and shouted things at me. If we both didn't have masks on, spittle would have been flying into my face. I said, fuck off out of my face, you cobwebbed cunt, or I will take both of your fucking eyes out. She literally ran backwards out of the aisle, with her husband trying to keep her upright. I don't know what they did, but I walked to an exit, got back to my car and went home. Added, thanks, people, I did not expect to get much support for what I did.
Did you recognize all of the voices? Leave your guesses in the comments.